Hi, is your life hard? Then this is the right channel to soften your life. Before you cry how hard life is, meet my grandmother's great ideas that have lasted through generation. And today I want to show you something amazing, actually something very, very brilliant of our grandmother and our grandfather. It is said that Walevi wanna share pombe, but before you judge Christians, go to your mother and ask them where they actually get the seeds that mostly they plant, especially seeds for beans, pumpkin. They usually share. So run to your neighbor if you don't have any seed for pumpkin leaves and beans, and then follow me. I show you what we are about to do. At first you might think this is just a flower bed over here, but my mother had something very special around this flower bed. If you look very closely, you will see something that actually appears like weeds, and I want you to look very close. I don't know whether you have seen it, but I'll turn my camera for you to see it very clearly. And the moment we have actually finished cooking, dondoring the beans for cooking, we usually pour them over here, that one, and if you see, they're actually germinating over down here, and we have vegetables over here. If it is an emergency, believe me, we can't sleep without vegetables, because kuingia hapa ni kutoa tu. And if by any chance we never ran into an emergency, this beans will turn into bean seeds and you can collect them back. And this is how my mother actually makes her life simple. She does it for fun. She doesn't have the pressure that, oh, those beans that I did in the shamba, how will they be? It is just for fun. And not only that, if you look very closely, you will also see some more vegetables over there. Those are actually pumpkin leaves over there. And I'll show you from a side that you can clearly see, but you can see inside there, they are vegetables. Remember that these vegetables are not going to give us pressure on weeding. It is not necessary doing any fertilizer, not really necessary, because these are actually emergency vegetables which you don't have. This is not a kitchen garden or whatever. The thing is that they're just there just in case you get your life really hard between a rock and a hard place. You don't have to sleep hungry. So let me take you through the other side. Before that, let me show you, these are actually berries. These berries, you can pump onto them before you say that, oh, kika village unaweza kuwa malnourished and whatever. These are actually, in our language we call them chinsovonsovo, but they are actually a family of berries. And if you bump whatever it is, if you come across them, it is just pick one, eat in the morning, and you could have actually eaten the vitamins, I believe so. And if you look closely, we are still there. There's some potato actually that is growing inside that flower bed, and most of those potatoes actually grow to have actually potatoes in them. And if you look from this side, you will see the pumpkin leaves over here. So kama ulikuwa umelala, ulikuwa like hauna option ya whatever to eat, be very sure that you'll have vegetables. And I told you the seeds is very easy. When you go to your neighbors, and actually the thing you can ask them, do you have some pumpkin leaves, or do you have some beans that you're not using? I want to go plant and rusha them. Anyway, this is how you get the seeds if you don't have. But if you have the beans, you can also get them so easily. And if you look very closely here, this is another fence where actually the pumpkin leaves are actually climbing up. If you look very closely, they are flowering, and you can use them for vegetables. But if it is not an emergency, you can leave them to actually grow more pumpkin. Just leave the leaves over there. I'm not a farmer, actually educationist, how do we call it, a farmer advisor, but I can tell you that this is my mother's way of doing things. If you look very closely, you can also see that you can't use even 5 shillings to buy pili for your kachumbari. Actually, these are pilipili that are actually grown within the fence. And remember, they actually dondoa the seeds down, so the younger ones will just grow automatically. Since you're not going to focus on farming on this side, they will just use what you want to use. If you see this one is totally red, use it if you want to use it. But if you are not using them, leave them. They will just dondoa chini, and the fence will be thicker with something very special. And I'm not saying don't do flowers. Flowers make the house to look really pretty, and do them, but in between do something valuable. That is my mother's way. That is not an advisor's way of doing things. So why can't I take you to another place? These are actually more pumpkin leaves over this other side of the fence, and actually they spread so you can carry them and actually put them up the fence instead of actually using a lot of space around that area. But they're down because we believe that they might make some pumpkin, and the pumpkin are actually too heavy to survive on that stalk, so we'll just leave them down but on the corner so that they don't take a lot of space. And if you look clearly, you'll see an aloe vera over there and other flowers around that fence, and berries. Actually, you can look and you will see. And then you can see also an orange, that is the lemon, not orange. There's a lemon on that side. It smells so good. And if you want to lose your weight, remember you can drop actually these leaves in your tea. I'm not a good advisor on that, so you just try it. Remember also we have pumpkins over here. They're actually growing. I told you, actually life is so simple, and this is the right channel for you. Remember to subscribe, and come I show you more of the nini. If you see very clearly, that place is not even weeded. It is, the weeds are there. And if you see so closely, you can get the vegetables or you can get the pumpkins. So never cry about hard life. Oh, my life is hardening. There's nothing I can take. Go to your neighbor and ask for seeds. Just throw it for fun and leave them to grow. You will have pumpkin to eat or vegetables actually to eat. There's a long actually where there's a transitioning between two garden, a vegetable garden, and that is the space that is being utilized to do that. And you see along that area you can see pumpkins. They're not actually pumpkins, but how do we call them? Sweet potatoes. What a rosemary. I got you covered either for tea or actually for your hair. Be very sure you are actually covered. And I think always remember to watch the next video, because I'll show you the uses of this banana stem, dried banana stem leaves. Can I call them leaves? No, it is a banana stem. You can't use stem and leaf on the same. Okay. And you know that bananas love us, not actually kisses don't love bananas, but bananas love kisses. You know, this is also an emergency crop. You can actually plant them in between your vegetables, your tea plantation, or whatever it is along the fence. You can also do the bananas, because actually they are good emergencies. And remember that for us kisses, munasema tunapenda matoke, but ukweli ni ripe bananas ndizo tunapendanga. That's why you will get actually most kisses eat the ripe bananas, not the cooked one. And if you see here, if you run into an emergency, you don't have food, believe me, you won't sleep hungry in my grandmother and mother's place, because there's plenty that you can get. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video and you have educated yourself, and I know you will do something valuable to ensure you don't get a hard life. Life is very simple. I have broken a taboo to pass my grandmother's methods to you without her permission and my mother. But remember to subscribe, like, and comment. Bye bye.